Here we go. This is the beginning of our discussion of the content of the Paul Simon song, Duncan. This is English through popular culture. I am Wu Xianfeng, Jason Grenier, and we will begin by looking at the document that is posted on e-learning for you, okay, the one that's called Duncan Lyrics and Vocabulary. We're going to look at that together. Right, and we'll go through this song. Now, I'm going to go through this a little more quickly than I would normally do in class because I am recording this and I plan to upload this to the my YouTube channel, and I will provide students a link to that. So, if you wish, you can go back and watch this at your leisure, pause as necessary to complete your notes, okay? But because we're doing it online, like I said, I'm just going to go a little quicker than I would in the classroom because I don't know who's taking notes at what speed. You know what I mean? And I don't want too much dead air time unnecessarily. So we're just going to go through it here. And if you have questions, of course, you can ask me when I'm done, and you can also watch this video again. I will send you a link once this is uploaded to my YouTube channel. Okay, so this is Duncan by Paul Simon. We begin, as always, at the beginning. You've had a chance to listen to the song on YouTube. I can't post the song as part of the video because that triggers the algorithm. The video will be flagged. I won't be able to put it up. Anyway, let's begin at the beginning. First verse, couple in the next room bound to win a prize. They've been going at it all night long. Well, I'm trying to get some sleep, but these motel walls are cheap. Lincoln Duncan is my name, and here's my song. Here's my song. Right, so we find ourselves in a motel, all right, and we know it's not a good hotel because the walls are cheap. All right, this tells us that the walls are thin, and we all know that if a place has thin, cheap walls, the noise passes from one room to another. Now, who is in the room next door? Well, there's a couple next door. Now, couple we know means two people, all right? There's a couple next door. He says bound to win a prize. It means they should win a prize. Whatever they're doing, they've been going at it all night long. So we get the idea of loud, something loud happening next door. This expression, go at it, okay? If we use this, it suggests to me probably could be sex, because that expression would describe sex. It could describe a fight. It could describe some loud partying. The idea, we say, if somebody's going at it, it means they're doing it 100%. You know what I mean? Like really, really doing it 100%. Nothing halfway about it. So I get the feeling we're talking about couple, we're talking about a cheap hotel. I think it's probably one of these things. You might have other ideas, but whatever it is, I think the point is he's trying to sleep, but he can't, right? It's too loud. The walls are thin. They're not made well. The sound from next door, from this couple, is coming through. He can't sleep. He would like to sleep, but he can't sleep. So he says, here's my name, here's my song. Basically, this is a way of saying, okay, well, we're here. I can't sleep, nothing to do. I'm going to tell you my story, my life story. So that's what we have here, a young man telling us his life story. We know it's a man, of course, because Duncan is a male name. Starts at the beginning here, taking us back to his hometown and the circumstances surrounding his birth. All right? So we hear my father was a fisherman. My mom was a fisherman's friend. And I was born in the boredom and the chowder. So when I reached my prime, I left my home in the Maritimes, headed down the turnpike for New England, sweet New England. So there's a lot of things we can gather here. First of all, my father was a fisherman. Well, it makes sense because we already heard that, well, we find out later that he lives in the Maritimes. We looked at the map already. We saw the Maritimes. Close that window, that's okay. The Maritimes, the provinces on the east coast of Canada surrounded by the ocean, right? So, of course, fishing is a common occupation out there. Usually, if someone's a fisherman, we would associate that with working class, you know, not super high income. I'm not going to say poor, but definitely working class. We say blue collar, right? It's a dangerous job. It's a dirty job. It's a very physical job, very demanding job. All right, so working class family, father's a fisherman. Mama was a fisherman's friend. Now, I think this word friend is very important in this context because it is not wife, it is not girlfriend, it's just friend. So I think that this is intentional. I think Paul Simon put this here to tell us that his parents are not married. And from that, knowing that, I can think, okay, well, just friends, these two. So maybe they were not even in a relationship, not even really a couple, not a steady couple, right? Maybe this was just, friends. Sometimes when they're bored, he mentions boredom. This could have been his parents' boredom. Friends sometimes feel bored. Maybe they do something together to pass the time, to feel less bored. And we know sometimes babies get born, right? Perhaps we're to understand that maybe even Duncan wasn't a planned pregnancy. Maybe his birth was an accident, right? If they were just friends, do you think they really set out to start a family and had a baby? Maybe not. Maybe I'm reading too much into this, but I get the feeling that he's telling us that his parents were not a stable couple, and that maybe he was not even a planned addition. They hadn't planned to start a family. Maybe his birth was an accident. He was born in the boredom and the chowder. Now, I think this can mean two things. Maybe it means his parents were bored, and that's why he was born, by accident. They wanted to feel less bored. They had sex. He was conceived. He was born. It could mean the parents' boredom. It could also mean for him, Duncan, growing up in a fishing village in the Maritimes, that it was a boring place to live. Not much excitement in his hometown. Not a lot of opportunities. Not a lot of nightlife or a lot of young people do leave their homes in the Maritimes because there's nothing to do out there except fishing. They feel that way. There's fewer opportunities. So it could be his parents' boredom, could be his own boredom, but we get the feeling that there was not much exciting happening in his hometown, right? The chowder, even the chowder he mentions. Now we know chowder from the vocabulary is seafood soup. Why does he mention the soup, the diet? Well, I think the point is to tell us that everything in his life was the same when he was growing up. Even the food, day after day, chowder. We know chowder is usually seafood, right? Well, fisherman family, maritime, growing up in the Maritimes where so many people fish. Even the food would be monotonous, unchanging, day after day, same thing. What's for lunch? Chowder. What's for dinner? Chowder. Not much going on, exciting or changing in this young town. So, he says, for these reasons, maybe the unstable family situation and the boredom of the hometown. So, for these reasons, when I reached my prime, as soon as I turned old enough and felt I was strong enough, he leaves. He leaves home. And I think maybe this is something that some of you out there listening and thinking about this, maybe you can relate to this feeling today. Maybe you couldn't wait to leave your home. Maybe there's something going on with your family that was less than perfect and you wanted some space to get away, do your own thing. Maybe you felt your hometown is boring. Nothing changes there. You've seen it all. You've done it all. You wanted to step out into the world, have new experiences. I think a lot of young people in particular can relate to this. As soon as you can, you're out of there, right? Leaving home, starting a new adventure. So he leaves his home in the Maritimes. We know the Maritimes is Canada, right? East coast of Canada. And he heads down the turnpike for New England. This tells us it's a road. So he's not flying, he's not taking a boat, right? Maybe hitchhiking. Anyway, he heads down the turnpike for New England. We know New England from the vocabulary part of our lesson here. We know this is the United States. So we see a Canadian boy leaving home and going to America. So right away, I don't know about you, but the first thing that comes to mind is the American dream, right? Chasing the American dream. We've heard about it. We've seen it in movies. Maybe you, even in your family, maybe you have family or friends that are in America chasing their American dream, studying over there, getting an education, working, went for a job opportunity, moved there because their spouse, their husband or their wife is from there or whatever. Whatever the dream is, the idea is it's a better future, right? It could be success in some field. It could be just having fun. It could be something more exciting than the boring hometown. It could be the money. It could be a job. It doesn't matter what it is. It's something new and hopefully something better. Right? So we have this young man, nothing to keep him at home, lots of things to push him away from home, actually. So as soon as he's old enough, bam, he's out of there, leaves home, and goes to America. Chasing a dream, looks like. It's a good thing. This is a happy and optimistic thing, right? Full of hope, big dreams for the future, looking for new experiences, novelty, right? All right, so he leaves home in the Maritimes and arrives in New England. He gets there and we see that things are not going to plan right away. Holes in my confidence, holes in the knees of my jeans. I was left without a penny in my pocket. Ooh-wee, about as destitute as a kid could be, and I wished I wore a ring so I could hawk it. I'd like to hawk it. So, leaving home, chasing a dream, getting to the new destination, the new location in America, and we start to see problems right away. All right? This first part's kind of cool here. Holes in my confidence, holes in the knees of my jeans. We have holes and we have holes here. Now, this part's easy to understand. Right? Holes in the knees of my jeans. 这是他牛仔裤破掉了. Easy to understand, but this is not about fashion. I know sometimes the holes in the knees of the jeans are fashionable. They can make jeans more expensive than jeans without holes in the knees. However, here this is not a fashion statement. This is suggesting that he's poor, right? Old, ragged clothes. All right? Easy to imagine that. Now, holes in my confidence, this is an interesting image to juxtapose with this one. Juxtapose means put them side by side, because this we can imagine. This one, it's harder to imagine. Our confidence is our sense of our belief in ourself, right? That feeling, yes, I can do this. I'm smart enough. I'm strong enough. I'm able to do this. I can, I will. This is confidence. But his confidence has holes in it, which tells us he lacks confidence. He doesn't have it. So we know he's come to a new place to chase a dream, and now it looks like he's starting to doubt himself, thinking, I don't know if I can do this. I don't feel confident. I think maybe I made a mistake. You know, maybe this was foolish. Maybe I should have stayed here. This was not great, but maybe this was the safer place. And we see a young man who's doubting himself as he's trying new things, embarking on a new adventure. And I think that also is something that a lot of us can relate to. We're excited to start something new, and then we start this new thing and we think, it's more difficult than I thought it was going to be. It's more challenging. I'm experiencing setbacks. Things are not going to plan. I don't know if I can do this. And this is where he is. All right? Now, what's causing the problems here? Well, we hear right here, I was left without a penny in my pocket. This means no money, right? Of course. Without a penny in my pocket. Remember we had Hollis Brown, your empty pockets tell you you ain't got no friend. Well, here we have Duncan telling us that he has no money. Destituted as a kid could be. Super poor. Remember, destitute means no money. Right? So, of course, you got no money, you're young, you're in a new place, you're struggling. No money, no honey, as they say. You got to feed yourself. You can't pay rent with no money. All right? So we can see why he's doubting himself. He's poor, he's struggling financially. It's tough just to survive. He reminds us here that he's just a kid, destitute as a kid could be. Now, kid, he doesn't mean a child, but he means a very young person. Now, kid, we're of course, young, right? And the idea of being young and inexperienced. Right? And this is a big factor in the struggle. Right? If you have older and more experience, maybe you're better able to adapt to things, to overcome these problems. But when you're young and you don't have much experience, it's going to be tough. Especially when you've left home and you're far from home. Right? You've left all the familiar stuff at home, it's far away, now you're on your own, struggling. He says, I wished I wore a ring so I could hawk it. I'd like to hawk it. Well, a ring is a valuable thing, It's a symbol, right? Something of value, some jewelry, whatever. But the idea is something valuable. So I could hawk it. We know to hawk something means to pawn it, to exchange it for money. So basically, his big problem is the money problem. He's saying, I could solve my money problem if I had something valuable. I could use the valuable thing to get some money to survive, but I got no ring. I wished I wore a ring. Wished means I don't have it. Right? I could hawk it. I'd like to hawk it, but I don't have one. So we get the sense here of this young man. Not only is he struggling, but he's feeling hopeless. He sees no way out, no way to improve his situation. Again, a feeling that I think a lot of us can relate to at different times in our life. It seems difficult to overcome problems, find solutions. All right? We've seen this in other songs like Hollis Brown, and we know how dangerous it is to lose hope, right? We can never do it. We can never lose hope. We always need to try to stay positive and keep getting up, keep grinding, keep moving forward and believing things can get better. But he's in this dark place where he feels doesn't know how to solve his problem, doesn't know how to get the money. All right? Now, hope is going to come back into the picture here, we hope. A young girl in a parking lot was preaching to a crowd, singing sacred songs and reading from the Bible. Well, I told her I was lost, and she told me all about the Pentecost, and I seen that girl as the road to my survival. And if you listen to the song, well, listen to the way he sings survival. It's not just amazing. Anyway, he meets a girl. Okay, and we know that this is a very religious girl. How do we know? Well, let's look. She's preaching to a crowd. Remember, preaching means talking about God and spirituality and religious things. Okay, so she's preaching like a minister or a priest would do. She's singing